Hi y'all, welcome back. Okay, so in this video, I guess I'm gonna call this video Fasting Part 2 and the mental battle of my journey. I was gonna make two separate videos, but they're both pretty much intertwined. So let me just get started, y'all. So I talked about, on the Fasting Part 1 video, I talked about the way I ate, but also during my fast, not only had I given up a lot of different foods, I had also given up TV. I was only allowing myself to watch Christian shows or movies and cartoons with my daughter, right? And so, like I mentioned before, if I can't watch what I want to watch, I really don't watch anything. So during this process of giving up TV, God really began to renew my mind. And it helped me to prepare for the mental battle. It helped me to stay strong through that part, right? So when I wasn't watching TV, I was either listening to the word, a podcast, something positive in the background. I always had music playing in the background. But I was constantly feeding my spirit. Even though I was distracted with a lot of things that were going on in my life at the time, even when you're distracted, your spirit is always constantly, still taking things in and still constantly eating. And so that was good for me when it came to renewing my mind. This was good for me because not only was I cleansing my body, I was also cleansing my mind in the process. And I needed my mind renewed. I needed God to have my mind. I needed to have the mind of Christ so that I can get rid of all the distractions that I was currently facing. Along with listening to the word and positive teachings and whatnot, I also had my very own praise and worship parties at home. I was going through a lot, y'all. I was going through a lot, and during the process, God was really cleansing and renewing my mind. And the praise and worship was a part of it too. It really was. In that time, I was thanking God for what I had yet to see, the things that He promised me. In the beginning of my weight loss journey, He showed me that He was going to redeem my body, even though I didn't know how. And even days when I couldn't see it and it seemed far from me, I would still thank Him in advance for what He was doing. So some days I had days where I was having praise parties. Some days I cried. Some days I would weep. And then some days I would just ask God to hold me. And all of that was okay. It all was okay. It was a mental and emotional cleanse that I needed along with my journey. I wouldn't have been able to make it through the mental battle without being able to pour everything out to God in that time. Y'all, I really and truly had my good and bad days, and that was okay. God was the best workout, weight loss partner, whatever you want to call it. He was the best, and He listened to every cry and heard every tear. He caught every tear. Along with my fasting, I also had a to-do list that I made for myself. So while I was giving up most food and a lot of TV, I made a to-do list, like for me to get a certain amount of things done each day too. Things that I felt like you ever think of things you wish you would do more, that you need to be more consistent about? It could be self-care or something that will help grow you, help heal you, right? So I made my list like that. I'm going to give you an example. On the days I was fasting, I gave myself 7 things to do, okay? And so I'm going to list 10 just so y'all have an example. For instance, the first thing, it could be listening to the word, listening to one podcast a day, one encouraging word a day. Read a chapter out of my book. I used to read so much when I was younger. I could finish books in a day or two. But it had been so long since I actually finished a book. So I would have on my list reading a chapter out of my book or reading a chapter out of the Bible. It's some chapters in the Bible I wanted to finish, I wanted to complete. So reading one a day, that was helping me cleanse and renew my mind, as well as me accomplishing a goal of mine. Or saying a prayer for my daughter. I have that praying book is such a good book, you guys, The Power of a Praying Parent. And so on my fasting days, I would have it on there for me to say a prayer out of that book, something that I feel like I need to pray for her about. And I would put that on my list, or saying a prayer for myself. I also have the book, The Power of a Praying Woman, and it has some really great prayers in there. So that would be on my list to check off. I also had on my list doing 20 push-ups. So around this time, like I said, I couldn't really exercise, and I'm not even gonna lie, around this time I couldn't do 20 push-ups. But I put push-ups, like, just so you could see what I used to do. I called it tiptoes, y'all, and I don't even know if that's the correct word for it. But what I used to do was one of the few exercises I actually could do, which is when, you do your tiptoes, you work your calf muscles, like you lift up 1, 2, 3, and you're working your calves. That's what I used to do, because that's one of the few things I actually could do. And I would put it on my list. I would do 20 tiptoes. So look, your list don't have to make sense to nobody but you, okay? All right, then like the next thing I would have on there is saying my confession. I wrote my own personal confession out. It's cool if you use somebody else's confession, but sometimes, I would read other confessions that were already written that I was in agreement with. But I found it better when I wrote my own out, because I was speaking things over my life that I wanted to see happen in my life. And for me, that was pretty powerful, Even if your confession every day is like, thank you, Father, for helping me lose this weight, or I have more than enough, or everything is working out for my good, or just positive things, whatever you want to speak over your life in that moment in time, I will put that in my confession. If you want to speak healing, just whatever it is that you desire to see in your life, I will put that in my confession, and I had it on my list to say every day. The next thing was cleansing my face. Now, y'all listen, okay? I could have some face cleanser. I could have purchased some face cleanser, and I'm bad about keeping up with cleansing my face. So that was like a self-care thing I wanted to do better at. So I had that on my list, that I would cleanse my face, cleanse my face every day. Honestly, my skin is sensitive, and I don't really have issues with my skin since I eat clean. But around that time, my skin did need some regular cleansing, but that was mainly due to diet. I found that as long as I eat clean and I drink a lot of water, my skin is usually okay. But that was on my list. So if it's something you want to do for self-care, you could add that to your list. I also had making a journal entry. Making a journal entry was therapeutic for me. And I couldn't hold everything in. It was unhealthy. So part of mine was making journal entries and releasing anything that was affecting me that day, or just my voice mattered. It needed to be released, whether I had somebody to talk to or whether I just released it for myself and just shared it with no one but myself. Another thing that God led me to do was making video logs. This was the same as a journal entry, but in video log form. This too was very therapeutic for me. I could speak my heart, I could speak my mind without judgment. This was very therapeutic for me. Sometimes I would just talk out my thoughts on my video logs, and God led me to doing that. And now when I look back, I'm grateful that He did, because I see how much I've grown in the process. So, but y'all, these are just some things that God guided me to do during my fast, and that helped me with the mental battle of, my weight loss journey and everything I was dealing with at the time. The mental battle I was having in life. Because while you're trying to lose weight, while you're trying to achieve your goals, you still have to live, and you still have things going on around you. So this helped me to focus on where my goals were, and the things I desire to change in my life. All right. Also, God led me to do the video logs as well, because I had trouble sleeping a lot. My mind runs a mile a minute, and I had a lot of trouble sleeping. I was stressed, And so doing the video logs helped me release that stress. It helped me get everything off of my heart so I could sleep, so I could go to sleep afterwards. I would do my video logs and I would pray and talk to God about it as well. And they both really, really helped, because like I mentioned before, stress and a lack of sleep can really, really and truly derail your weight loss journey. You need sleep. You need sleep. To lose weight is a part of the process, most definitely. Rest is a part of the process. Okay, and then something else I did this a lot. God had to remind me, and I was only able to find one picture of it, but I used to put writings on my wall. I took whatever piece of paper or flashcards I had, and I wrote out the things that God was saying to me, the encouraging things, things I needed to see, something so simple as you can, to keep going, don't quit. I had this stuff on my wall. God telling me to trust him. I wrote that on my wall. Scriptures. I wrote it on like flashcards, and then I tacked it up on my wall. And I only found one picture I could show y'all. But I had this not only on that one wall, I had it on my refrigerator. Anything you need to put to remind yourself, like now, God brought this back to mind. So now, as I continue my fitness journey, it's some things I'm going to put on my refrigerator to help me make good choices. So when I think about going to the fridge or have a thought that I'm hungry, when I look at it, I'll see that. I also had pictures of goals for me, what I wanted my body to look like. I could find a woman with my body type, and if I would say, I love who I am. I love being who I am, but her body, like she could have my body type, and I could see her as goals and put her on my refrigerator, right? For my body type, what could the best version of my body look like? And I would put that up there as goals for me. And so that was just stuff to encourage me, because I'm a visual. A lot of us are visuals, and we need this stuff in front of us. And that's going to help you in your mental battle. That will help you in your mental battle. I even have some words I typed out as a confession for me to say every day, first thing in the morning. Happiness is mine. Healing is mine. Peace is mine. Joy is mine. Love is mine, y'all. Victory today is mine. Success today is mine. Amen. This is stuff that I constantly had to have around me. And even though we moved and we've grown, I'm still real big on putting words on the walls and encouraging things that are going to uplift me and encourage me when I need it most. Your biggest battle will be mental. It will be mental, and you have to feed your mind what it's going to need to succeed. Okay, I hope this helps somebody. Y'all be blessed. The biggest battle is mental. If there's anything encouraging you want somebody to tell you, you tell it to yourself. You write it down. You put it in a place that you can see it. I had to stop waiting on other people to tell me that I could. I had to stop waiting on other people to tell me that I was worthy. And I had to stop waiting on other people to tell me that I was beautiful, even at 377 pounds. You have no idea how many times I looked in the mirror and struggled with just telling myself I was beautiful. But thank God that I did. Thank God that I did. So, you guys, use whatever God is putting on your heart. Put it in front of you and encourage yourself daily and renew your mind, because that is going to be your strength and your backbone throughout this journey. So I pray this bless someone, and y'all be blessed.